An Afro-Latino Elk Grove teacher highlights Afro-Latino experiences in his podcast, Afro-Saya. Alejandro Gutierrez joins us now to discuss further. Alex, good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me
Yeah,
here. I'm excited.
I'm excited to have you on too. So you created an Afro-Latino podcast. What led you to doing this?
Well, Afro-Latinos, the Afro podcast Saya is based on the identity of Afro-Bolivian culture. And I was just thinking about something to have on radio, like going on with the topics. I kind of like people can just sit in there, listen something very quick. And I thought maybe this can be the venue for that because, you know, I mean, producing a radio show will be cost and expensive. And then I thought something easy and with music and content that can be easy to access.
Yeah, so tell us about the content people get when listening to your podcast.
Yeah, so Afro-Saya is based on the Afro-Latino community or the blackness in the Americas. I remember talking to people about who I am and where I'm coming from, and a lot of people will be like, wait, hold it, what? So then as I thought, okay, maybe many people don't know about this. So I started crafting the stories about blackness in the Americas. I introduced the topics of the countries where, you know, how it's established. And then I say, but hold it, you know there were people like from the African descendants in this country?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And then I flip the page and then we talk about blackness in specific countries.
Yeah, so you're definitely creating important conversations. And how is your show creating an impact in the community, would you say?
I think a lot of people are very happy to have access to this content. It's free. People just need to find it. And I think a lot of people, especially in Europe, because now I'm doing it in English, a lot of people in Europe and other Middle Eastern countries are reaching out and saying, I didn't know there were, you know, black people living below the equator. Like I didn't have idea Argentina have black people, Chile had black people. So people can find those informations. And I guess the impact in the community is like, oh, we are learning something.
Right.
Yeah.
And people want to learn, and I think that's great. And what's something you wish the Latino community would understand about Afro-Bolivians?
I think people need to know that black Bolivians are, you know, not different from any other black community in the world. Still oppressed, there's still a lot of struggles in there, but also a community that has resilience and have been kept the culture for so long. So I think people need to know that, you know, we are there to be, you know, to have our lives, to make our dreams come true. But at the same time, we're not forgetting our identity, and our ancestors are still with us. I mean, it's been more than 500 years. Where black Bolivians are still in Bolivia, and now we're coming, you know, stronger.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned identity, because you've highlighted that black Latinos say they live in two worlds. And this resonated with me because I'm black and I'm Mexican. But could you elaborate a little bit more?
Yeah, so, I mean, it's very hard, you know, when you all suddenly pop up in a place and you're like, wait, who am I?
Yeah.
Right? I thought it just was this person. My identity or my struggles became a couple years before, because I was born and I was like, yeah, I'm Afro-Bolivian. In fact, in Bolivia, to be black was very, very mean and hard and harsh. My family suffered a lot of discrimination. So when I was at the age of 15, I kind of started to understand who I was. Now becoming into a U.S. and being a U.S. citizen, it's like, okay, who am I now, right? So you're just adding little cherries to your cake. But I think being black and being another nationality, it's okay. We are not only one name, we have multiple names, and I think it's okay to accept that. And just recognizing that, okay, you have a little bit of this, but also this.
Exactly.
You know, I'm like Bolivian, but I also have my salsa music and reggaeton bachata with me.
There we go, we got the layers. There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, and you're also a teacher in Elk Grove.
Yes.
Why do you think it's important that students see teachers like you having someone that looks like them, having that representation?
Okay, so I recently changed. I'm in Gold now, Liberty Ranch High School.
Shout out, shout out.
Shout out. So what I want, you know, people to know, like, especially with the kids when we're doing this, they ask me to, like, you have a podcast, like, wow, what do you talk? Like, when they reach out to the topics, they didn't know that my identity was, you know, so complex, but at the same time so crafted. And they're like, oh, okay, so you are, you know, this person, and we love to have you around the classroom. They always reach out for more questions when we are talking about the topic,
Oh my goodness. And so what's next for your podcast, Afro-Saya?
You know what? I feel like we should have a Netflix show. I think that's what we need.
Put it out there. Put it into the universe.
Available.
Yes, he's ready. We're starting off right now.
We should have. I mean, I think it needs to be visual too. We need some more representation of black in Latin America or living in the U.S. However we want to frame it, I think it's very important to bring that identity, because a lot of the basis for what is the Latino culture comes from also Blackness, and I think it's very important to put it out there. So we're still producing the podcast. There's still more shows to come. We're still open to have new guests in our show, so maybe next time you're going to come to our
connecting.
Yes, and so that's what we're looking for.
Well, Alejandro, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to let our viewers know where they can catch your podcast. For more info, you can visit afrosaya.com.